Hey, what's going on, crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life and the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you. Guys, whoa, what is going on in the market right now? I got to share some information from the CIO from Bitwise that is very encouraging, hugely encouraging. Listen, guys, you know we've said on this channel time and time again, and the digital asset, when it comes to the digital asset space, and we talk about the powers that be, right? The G20, the G7, the United Nations, the WEF, the BIS, the Central Bank of England, the IMF. When it comes to digital assets, when they hear that topic or subject, this is what they hear. Wah, 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 wah. They don't hear it. But when you say cross-border payments, they all sit up in the chairs. They all make sure that their translation microphones and headphones are working correctly. Their ears perk up, their eyes open up. They all agree on the ailments and the shortcomings in the cross-border payments space. They all agree. I'm going to play you something from Kristalina Georgieva, the current head at the IMF, the deputy manager, head of the IMF there, and she's talking cross-border payments. And from what I can see, she sounds excited about it. I'm not sure if there is another company with fintech software that is more out in front, that is leading the cross-border payment space than Ripple. I'm not saying that there aren't other players. Certainly they are, but leading the space is Ripple. I'm going to play something from her, from Kristalina Georgieva, that I believe that you're going to enjoy. Listen, guys, I think there's a reason why we keep hearing stuff and seeing stuff about the cryptocurrency and carbon emission. That is going to be a big deal with the IMF, with the ECB, with these nations. That's going to be a big deal. And if you're not participating in it, there's going to be some challenges for you. And again, in the digital asset space, what company with this fintech software that also happens to have a digital asset is leading the front, leading from the front? It's Ripple. And again, guys, I'll say, if I said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. When the moment in time comes when they will begin to sing the praises and shout from the rooftop, all things Ripple and this technology, these are some of the things that they will point out. Arguably leading. And trust me, I've said this, this is just a thing for me, but I've said this also 1,000 times. This current administration loves to usher up to the front of the podium good old American, good old US of A companies. Loves to usher them to the front of the room and put them in front of that podium there. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. Who knows? Ripple may remain in the back. They may remain in the back, right? We all know about the currency and the ledger. It may be all just back end. But I personally, I have a feeling that they will, when their name starts to be shouted from the rooftops, that someone's going to usher them to the front of the room. And they're going to sing and they're going to talk about things before they bring them up. They're going to talk about leading the way in being regulatory compliant, leading the way in reducing carbon emissions, leading the way with this fintech software and cross-border payments. I just kind of see it, and I hope that you can see it as well. All right, guys, this is your XRP Ripple daily news. And around 0 to 10 minutes. Now, before I forget, I want to say something, guys. If you have not subscribed to Darren Moore Jr. on YouTube, you're missing out. This guy has been laying out some really awesome content this last month or so. I mean, it's been, he's always done it, but he's taking his videos and to another level. So I encourage you guys to go check that out. Darren Moore Jr. M-O-O-R-E, and Darren, D-A-R-R-E-N. Darren Moore Jr. Go check him out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out those videos. They are really, it's just top notch. It gets you thinking. It opens your idea, opens your mind up to the possibilities and gets you thinking. And I think that's hugely important, that you take the time to ponder the possibilities, right? It's important. And again, it's also important to keep the XRP radar antennas up and tuned in to what's going on in the space, right? Not just in this space, but the bigger picture, right? The global economic, the big geopolitical, if you will, picture. And Darren Moore does really a great job of sharing that and pointing those things out. So shout out to my dude, Darren Moore. All right, guys, so listen, this is from Crypto Bull, and I think this is something important to think about. Shout out to Crypto Bull. He gets on here and he does come up with some stuff. When he tweets some good stuff for you to think about, and I love that. Hope you're doing well, Crypto Bull. So buying $1,000 of Bitcoin today may get you $5,000 by the end of this bull run. Whereas $1,000 of XRP is likely to give you $40,000 in return. This is from the Crypto Bull. This is not financial advice, and I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I'm asking you to be open to the possibilities, right? Bitcoin price today, $13,800. XRP price right now is 24 cents. Date 11/1/2020. Well, today's the 2nd. I always said that whatever is an opportunity to do the 4 for $1, we're set with XRP. I always said that I would do it. Now, last night we got busy doing so many other different things, and when you look at there, I'm just gonna snatch up the 4 for $1. Like, it's 23.5 cents right now. I'm just gonna snatch up 4 for $1 because I just think, obviously the 4 for $1 down to 5 for $1, obviously, for me personally, the crypto sees home, I can't miss out on those. Let me read this again for you. The Crypto Bull says, buying $1,000 of Bitcoin today may get you $5,000 by the end of this bull run, whereas $1,000 of XRP is likely to get you $40,000 in return. Bitcoin price today is $13,800. XRP price now is 24 cents. And here's the thing. You have to make your own decisions on what you're going to do. I believe that it's important to diversify in this asset class. Me personally, I believe that's important. I'm not sure if you need 20 to 30 digital assets. Not so sure about that, but certainly for us, we have right around 10 digital assets, right? To leverage what's going to happen on this current bull run. So something to think about. I said this a lot of times. We have to be hugely careful to pass up on the 5X and 10Xs, right? Because we're spoiled. Just face it, we're spoiled. We like the 2,000% gains, 3,000% gains, 5,000% gains, 10,000% gains. It's happened in this space time and time again. And we pass up on the 5Xs and the 10Xs. I know, here's the thing that I know the ultra wealthy people do. They like the conservative, the 5Xs and the 10Xs, because they feel like it's more of a guarantee on the money. That I do know, right? Michael Saylor, I don't know how many other digital assets that he has, right? Him and or his company has. But I do know that he took out 95% of his cash reserve, if not more, which was around 400+ million, and put it in the BTC, right? Now, he could have diversified all up and down the digital asset space. And maybe he does have some Ether or some XRP. Maybe he does. But he put it, the fact of the matter is he put several $100 million into BTC. And again, I think it's just kind of important, right? Especially in the digital asset space, because you don't know when a particular asset is going to do its thing. But here's one thing that we do know, and this is just something for you to ponder. BTC leads the way. So you got to think about, if you got $1,000 and that's all you got, and BTC leads the way, I don't know. If it's all you got and you don't have time to wait, it's just something for you to ponder. Now, for those of you who have time to wait, that's another thing, right? And maybe even do you, I think that, you know, when you talk to the top 1% of 1%, I'm going to say 7 to 8 out of 10 are going to say diversify into the digital asset space. I know Alex Mashinsky says it. He may not say get some XRP, right? But he does say get some Bitcoin and some Ethereum. And I think he says something like, save like 5 to 10% to diversify in, in like the top 20, 40% BTC, certain percent of ETH, and then take like less than 5% to the other digital assets in the top 10, top 20. You going to the post office? Okay. All right. Love you. AT&T store or no? Yep. Okay. All right. Did you get that tapping thing to work? Yep. Okay. All right, guys. So that's just something for you to think about. Apologize for that. Miss Crypto C just heading out. So that's just something for you guys to kind of think about. I think this is a great point, and I think it's something that you should really, really think about for sure. Shout out to Crypto Bull. So here's the other thing. I talked about the carbon thing. Shout out to my dude, James Rule, XRP. Guys, by the way, I don't know if it slipped my mind or I don't know, but I don't think I realized that James Rule, XRP, has a YouTube channel as well. You want to check? I thought he was just on Twitter, but he got a YouTube channel as well. It's doing really, really well. Definitely go check him out. I just actually messaged with him about his intro. I'm liking that intro on his channel. Go check him out. James Rule XRP on YouTube. Big time value add to the community, guys. I mean, big time. Selfishly giving to the community. I love it. My kind of do. So this is from James Rule. It says, Ripple's commitment to reach carbon net zero by 2030. Cryptocurrency's carbon footprint is massive and not sustainable. Now, this is an article from Forecast News. I'm not going to go over all of it, but I think it's important that these kind of things are out there. We've heard from the IMF. We've heard from the ECB. We've heard, right, from Christine Lagarde and from Kristalina Georgieva. I mean, this is things that they're talking about. The WF as well. This climate thing, they're not, this is a push. This is an emphasis for them. It really, really is an emphasis for them. And the blockchain companies, if you will, that are leading the way, that are taking it serious, it's going to pay dividends for them. Cryptocurrency's carbon footprint is massive and it's not sustainable. Bitcoin and crypto mining now use more energy than some nations. You don't think that's important? You don't think that's going to be a talking point, right? In those meetings with the IMF and the G20s, G7s of the world? To help lead fintech into a greener future, Ripple pledges to be carbon net zero by 2030. Now, we've all read this one. This came out a few months back, what they're doing with Energy Web. And I think it's absolutely massive. A lot of time, every now and then I keep thinking about I should get that token because that's important. If you can make a blockchain and cut down on the carbon, put your blockchain in this particular platform and cut down on your carbon emissions, it's huge. And think about the ones that don't do it. Think about the ones that say, we're good. You think that they're going to be, shouted from the rooftops? You think they're going to be ushered up to the front of the room? I don't think so. I don't think so. This is from Ken Weber here. What did I want to read? The pandemic has accelerated the shift in how we think about money and spurred a dramatic rise in digital payments, which are expected to increase by 15% this year alone as consumers seek faster and more accessible payment solutions. As digital payments become more widely adopted, the financial technology industry has an opportunity to lead global finance toward a more sustainable future. And that's a $64 million statement right there. As cryptos and blockchain become more pervasive, it is important to be mindful, and they are becoming more pervasive. I'm going to share with you some words from the CIO of Bitwise, which is a major player in the digital asset space. As crypto and blockchain become more pervasive, it is important to be mindful of the potential negative environmental impact of these technologies at scale. As it is well documented, the energy consumption and carbon intensity associated with existing transactions are massive. Traditional finance also carries a substantial carbon footprint. So not just electricity, but carbon footprint. It is also no secret that the process of mining crypto consumes large amounts of energy. All of these things, right? Portugal, for example, consumes 1 billion kilowatt of energy annually. 1 billion. While 60 million Bitcoin transactions consumed approximately 29 billion, or 2.3 billion gallons in fossil fuel. Again, I'm not going to read over all of this. This is pointing out how Ripple is leading from the front here in recognizing the challenges and doing what they can, leading from the front, and it's important. With the global consensus emerging on the need for urgency across industries, with a global consensus emerging on the need for urgency across industries, Ripple is taking action with a pledge to reach carbon net zero by 2030 through a combination of emissions reductions, carbon offsets, and investments in innovative carbon removal technology. In order to truly lead a sustainable future for finance, Ripple also partnered with EnergyWeb Foundation on the creation of EW0, a new open source tool that will enable any blockchain to decarbonize through the purchase of renewable energy in local markets worldwide. I mean, the XRP ledger, which Ripple leverages for its inherently green design, is already utilizing EW0 to purchase clean energy, making it the first major carbon neutral blockchain. It's so important to get it. With XRP expected to grow to 750 billion in transaction volumes by 2025, this commitment to reach carbon net zero speaks volumes when it comes to impact on energy savings. Yeah, so this statement, right? Can you hear the current administration saying the XRP ledger, which Ripple leverages for its inherently green design, is already utilizing EW0 to purchase clean energy, making it the first major carbon neutral blockchain. Like, can you hear it? I can hear it. I can hear it. I think it's hugely important. And again, Ripple, all their moves simply, Ripple does a lot of things that my business partner says all the time, right? And he says this: not only is it the right thing to do, but it is the smart thing to do. When you continually make moves like that, where it's not only the right thing to do, but it's the smart move to do, it puts you out in front. of everybody else. It really, really does. And that is, in my opinion, what I like to say about Ripple is their genius in motion. James Rule sharing this as well. I just read that there. And I think Michael finally covered it as well, which I think was very, very smart to do. This is the one I want to share from Michael to share this. Michael at Val Five Links. This is a dude you want to follow on Twitter, guys. Without question, big time value add to the digital asset space and the XRP community in particular. Shout out to Michael. How are you, my friend? The chief investment officer of one of the largest crypto asset managers in the world says the bigwigs have officially accepted cryptocurrency as a valid asset to allocate, and it's just about to snowball. Alex Mashinsky says the very same thing. He knows he's been doing his business model is on the bigwigs, institutional investors, hedge funds, digital asset exchanges. Let's go over this article here from the Daily Hodl. Massive maturation. My goodness. Massive maturation of crypto market underway, says the Bitwise CIO, Matt Hugin. I'm going to say it might be Haugen. I think it's Hugin, though. The chief investment officer of one of the largest crypto asset management in the world says the bigwigs have officially accepted cryptocurrency as a valid asset to allocate, and it's just about to snowball. In an interview with Laura Shen on the Unconfirmed podcast, Matt Hugin of Bitwise Asset Management points out that a massive maturation is occurring as hedge funds and financial advisors take a serious interest in crypto markets. And I'm going to read this quote from him. You're just seeing a massive maturation of the crypto market. It's now acceptable for institutional and professional investors to allocate. And that's being driven by improvements in custody, improvements in trading, big improvements in regulations. Is that right? And then some proof of concept developments like what we saw in the DeFi market, decentralized finance market. So it's just a perfect market for people to allocate. You have these couple of big catalysts, and I think we're in the early innings of this happening. I think it's going to snowball from here. Hugin also notes that the Bitwise customer base has gone through a significant transformation in the span of 3 years, and this is important. It's been huge, says Matt. The customer base when we launched in 2017 was primarily high net worth and ultra high net worth individuals who were looking for an easy way to get exposure to all, or at least the majority, of the crypto asset market cap. That's really shifted. Those people are still allocating in Bitwise, but the driver of the inflows that led to the 100 million mark is hedge funds and financial advisors. And particularly financial advisors couldn't have really allocated 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they were not regulated and insured custodian. There were no regulated and insured custodians in the market just 2 years ago. Isn't that important? The CIO highlights the fact that mainstream analysts are now openly touching hugely bullish forecasts for Bitcoin. Just a few months ago, Bloomberg's senior commodity strategist came out and said that Bitcoin could trade to $100,000. And now you have JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, saying it could easily 2x or 3x if millennials crowd out gold, and it could 10x if it replaced and mixed it. These were price targets that people were expounding on crypto maybe in 2017 and were getting laughed out of the room by traditional Wall Street. Now it's traditional Wall Street that is recognizing the potential size of the market. And then he talks about PayPal and what PayPal recently did, with allowing you to get some of the digital assets on that platform. Matt ends and says, you're going to see every other major institution follow suit, follow in the steps that PayPal has taken. In other words, they now have to. It's sort of table stakes. And I agree with them, right? Some people call that, I don't like to use the word competitive, but some people call that competitive pressure, right? Hugely important to note. All right, guys, listen, that is some exciting stuff there. I really, really, really love that particular thing from the people from Bitwise, the CIO from Bitwise. Let's listen to Kristalina Georgieva here for just a bit in reference to cross-border payments. Hopefully this will play without issue.
Hello from Washington to all, and a very warm welcome to what I'm sure is going to be an exciting discussion today. We have a fantastic panel and a topic that is gathering more attention, the future of cross-border payments. With digitalization of all aspects of our lives, here we are virtually connected, accelerated today by COVID-19, once a boring subject, many called cross-border payments plumbing. Now it takes center stage in policymaking.
What? It does what? It does what, Kristalina? The Kristalina says it takes what? Front and center and policymaking. Front stage and policymaking. Is that right, Kristalina? That's important for us and for XRP hodlers. Because again, there just happens to be a fintech firm, a blockchain infrastructure company out of San Francisco that is leading the pack when it comes to this particular space. And the powers that be have made it front and center, if you will, priority in policymaking.
We have a chance to improve cross-border payments with huge benefits, especially for many of the world's poorest people. And there is a pressing need to do so. At a time when technology is accelerating and changing our lives, it is allowing us to hold, work, and interact in a way that was not possible years ago. Cross-border payments still remain slow, opaque, costly, and inaccessible to part of the 1.7 billion people worldwide who are unbanked.
So guys, listen, don't get things twisted too much, right? So here's the thing, that this is not about us as a society of the people, if you will, in my humble opinion. For me, a lot of this is about the 1.7 billion people that are unbanked or underbanked, right? Because if you can get more people into the system, then they can get a little bit more from the people, if you understand what I'm saying. So, but for us as XRP hodlers, this is absolutely great news. Go to Twitter, go check out, follow IMF at IMF News and listen to her talk here. I think she talks about 10 minutes. I just wanted to play a portion of that for you. To me, this bodes really, really well for Ripple. And I can't wait for the day to hear, right? The powers that be, if you will, shouting Ripple and its technology from the rooftops. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to end this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, but we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.